What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH. I'm pretty sure that it sticks in Scott's craw. I'm sure that it makes Scott's blood boil. The simple fact that he felt it necessary. He must have been really desperate. Because you know what they say, desperate times calls for very desperate measures. For him to have to go to Sonny of all people for help, especially with the years of hatred and bad blood between them. And for him to have to turn to Sonny, I know it felt very humbling for him to have to go to him. I know it. I know it did. I know he was pissed about it. And I wouldn't blame him. But you know what? When you're a parent and your child, you know what I mean? Like, no matter how old they are, and you're a parent, you're going to go above and beyond. You're going to lay down your life for your kid, no matter how old they are, no matter how old you are. You don't care. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Scott felt. Scott was like, you know what? I got to do what I got to do. Even if that means making a deal with the devil, I got to do it. You know, so basically he felt like he was running out of legal options in terms of keeping Franco in town. So he had to turn to illegal options, which hence brings in Sonny. So basically, if he can't find a legal way to keep Scott in town, to keep Franco in town, then he needs Sonny to get his goons and basically restrain Franco and keep him, hold him against his will, basically. Restrain him. And Sonny was basically like, from one father to another, I'll consider it. I'll think about it. My thing about Sonny is when Scott subliminally brought up Karen, when he didn't really mention her by name. He just said, like my daughter, or, when you have a daughter or something like that. And Sonny knew what he was trying to hint at. And Sonny was like, so do that means that I owe you, that mean I owe you something or whatever? In my opinion, you damn right. You damn right. You damn right. In my opinion, Sonny is going to forever owe Scott for what he did to Karen back in the day. Hell yeah, you owe him. And the mere fact that he said, I'll consider what you're asking me to do, you shouldn't have to consider nothing. You should be willing to do it. You the one that pimped his daughter out and got her hooked on drugs. You damn right you owe him. You owe him more than you think you do. Because my thing is, you want to know what I find funny though? Is that Sonny is going to hate the Jeromes probably until the end of time. He's gonna always hate Julian and Ava because of what they did to Morgan. Remember, when they first came to town, they used Morgan against Sonny. That was strike one. Then Ava switched his medications. Strike two. Olivia was responsible for the bomb that killed his son, or allegedly killed him. Strike three. So he's forever gonna hate them. And that's my whole thing though. It's okay for him to hate Ava and Julian for the rest of eternity for things that they've done to his son, but Scott has no right to hate you for what you did to his daughter? Hell yeah, he does. And that was over 20 years ago. You damn right he can hate you. Hell yeah. The same way you can hate the Jeromes, he can hate you. But the same way he came to you, being cordial, asking for your help, Sonny does the same thing with the Jeromes from time to time, just like he did today. Because he needed, he wanted to buy an old photo album or something like that from Charlie's or whatever that Julian had, I guess, from back in the day that holds fond memories for Mike. And he gave him an envelope full of money too. I said, well, damn, Sonny, you just throwing the money around lately. Can I borrow $10? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just throwing the money. But, I respect what Julian did. Julian took the high road. He could have easily just took the money and told him to go to hell, or, gave him back his money and told him, no, I'm not giving you nothing. He could have did that, but he decided to, be the bigger man. He let Sonny keep his money, and he will give the photo album to Mike free of charge. He's not gonna, they're not for sale. He's not gonna, charge them, because he did that out of respect for Mike. He didn't do that for Sonny. He did it for Mike, because even though he has his issues with Sonny, he doesn't have his issues. His issues are not with Mike. You know what I'm saying? He knows what Mike is going through. He actually likes Mike. Mike's a good guy. Jax was always the same way about Mike too. Even when he hated Sonny, he never took anything out on Mike. Whenever he saw Mike, he was nice to him, cordial. You know what I'm saying? He never, made Mike pay for Sonny's sins. A lot of people in that town haven't. You know what I mean? Whatever your beef is with Sonny, that's with Sonny. They never took it out on his dad. And I respect that. It says a lot about them. You know what I'm saying? It really does. It says a lot about them. And I could kind of say the same thing about Sonny when it related to Kiki. His issues with Ava and Julian, he never took that out on Kiki. He never took that out on Sam or Lucas. Like, never. So I can respect that. You know what I mean? Like, keep certain people out of y'all drama, out y'all beef. Because they ain't got nothing to do with y'all issues. I definitely respect it. Brad. Woosah. Brad. This idiot had the gall to come up to Julian and basically say, oh, well, Liesl, she's a problem. She's this. No, Brad, Liesl's not the problem. Obrecht is not the problem. You're the problem. That's the problem here. You. See, the problem with Brad is, one of the problems with him, he think he's such a gangster. He think people are afraid of him, like Obrecht's afraid of him. Obrecht laughs in your face every time you try to threaten her or send a warning her way. She laughs in your face because she know you're not tough. You can try to act like you're tough all you want, but you're not. You ain't nothing but a little punk coward. Go sit down. A little kidnapper. You tough, you're not. And when he was talking about how Obrecht delivered the baby that night and stuff, it didn't take Julian long to put two and two together. It did not take him long to piece together all the info. He pieced it together real quick, like Kojak. He got it all together. He was like Columbo. He was getting that shit together. All the information was just going into his head. He was thinking about everything that night. And he was like, oh, okay. He was pissed. When he figured out that Michael was the father and that's Sonny's grandkid, he was pissed. Because do you not know the implications? That this brings on him now? The hell that this brings on him now? Because you know how Sonny is. Sonny's going to think, oh, Julian was a part of this from the beginning. Ain't no telling what he going to try to do. You know how Sonny is, and sometimes you can't reason with him when he ain't thinking straight and he upset. You can't reason with him. And you're about to put Julian in the middle of a damn war or, potentially get him hurt because of some stupid that you did. I don't blame Julian for being pissed. He looked like he wanted to knock the hell out of Brad, and I hope he would have. I wished he would have. Brad is just dumb. Now the question is, the $1 billion question, what is Julian going to do with this information? Hopefully, and I pray that Julian doesn't sit on this information and continue to keep up with this lie. I understand he wants to protect Lucas' feelings, but you're going to hurt him even worse in the long run once you keep this charade up. You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing nothing but hurting Lucas even more. And you're potentially hurting yourself. Why go down in flames for Brad? Because really, that's what you're doing. You're not doing this for Lucas. You're saying you're lying for Brad. Not for Lucas. You're doing it for Lucas's sake. But you're really doing this for Brad. You're just a puppet in his little game. That's all Julian is at this point. He's coming to you for counsel and advice on what to do. And now that you know the full story now, you need to go to Sonny and Michael, tell them the truth. That way it proves to Sonny that you didn't know about this from day one and that you just found out. You know what I'm saying? That way he won't bust a cap in your behind. Hopefully. You know what I mean? Like, be smart about this. Now's the time to pull out of this lie. It's one thing to lie when you thought it was a random homeless woman, but now that you know the full story, tell the damn truth, because you're just making matters way worse. You think, people in that town are just starting to, cozy up to Julian a little bit. People that really hated him, even Olivia. She's giving you more time with Leo now. Why jeopardize everything you're working hard for Brad? For Brad, why do it for him? Even though really you're trying to do this for Lucas, that's your excuse, but you're going to go down with Brad. The ship is sinking at this point. Why sink with it? Get a life preserver. You know what I'm saying? Grab a life preserver while you can, because it ain't going to be there for too much longer. The longer you keep your mouth shut on this, you're sinking. You're sinking. You might as well just throw Brad's ass under the bus and call it a day. You might as well. Ain't no sense in sitting here, keeping up this charade now that you know the full story? Why do it? Why? Hopefully he opens up his mouth and he says something. Because this is going to go from bad to worse now. If you say absolutely nothing. It would be stupid. I have to be honest. It would just be dumb of him just to keep quiet on this. Brad is just an idiot. So anyway, Michael and Willow with little baby Wiley / Jonah. Finally, my prayers were answered today, and Michael started to notice. He started to notice a little bit of Wiley's features. Reminded him of him and Jocelyn when they were babies. I said, okay, Michael, it's about time you're starting to look at the features. Even Willow looked at the baby again, and she did a double take real quick, and she started to notice that the baby didn't look like her. I said, it's about damn time. How do y'all go all this time? How do y'all go all this time not noticing that this kid looks like Michael when he was a baby and doesn't look a thing like Willow? I really want to notice, though, because Willow has dark hair. Shiloh has dark hair. Can two dark-haired people make a light-haired baby? A blonde-head baby? That's what I want to know. Could they? Because I'm not too sure. You would think they would have noticed that right off the bat when he was, when they came in contact with him, you would think. But I don't know if it's possible or not. But I'm like, it's about damn time. I feel bad for Willow. I always do every time I see her, because every time she holds Wiley, she doesn't even know that you're not even holding your actual child. Like, your child is dead. You know what I'm saying? And once that sinks in with her, like, she just... Once that sink in, I can tell you right now, she's probably going to fall apart. It ain't going to be a dry eye in that room once all this mess come out. It's going to be drama, tears, anger. It's just going to be a whole bunch of emotions when this all come out. Hopefully it comes out quick, sooner rather than later. So anyway, moving on from that. I like the fact that Andre was being real with Elizabeth about the potential dangers of this procedure that she wants him to do once he's well on Franco, because he was being totally blunt with her. He wasn't sugarcoating. He wasn't none of that. He was just letting her know the possibilities of what can happen once they do this procedure on Franco. That's if Franco, consents to the procedure. But notice how Elizabeth said, oh, I'll worry about Franco's consent. I said, here go the old Liz coming out again. She gonna get him to sign them papers. She probably gonna lie to him and say that those are divorce papers and get him to sign them. I wouldn't put it past Elizabeth if she did that. Pretended like she filed for divorce just to get Franco to sign, but in reality, he's signing consent forms. Now that'd be hilarious. Because you can't put it past Elizabeth. She's sneaky as all hell. I hope she do that. That'd be clever as shit if she does that. I would be dying. But yeah, he was just letting her know, like, the possibilities are, one, the procedure could work, or it could not work and Franco just keeps Drew's memory, or it can intensify. Drew's memories can intensify. He would remember even more about Drew's life. He would think Drew's life even more so is his life. You know what I mean? Or there's another option. The trauma and the stress from this procedure could just leave him in a vegetative state altogether, and he would never recover. So those are pretty much the options. So, in Elizabeth's mind, her, it's worth the risk. To her, she don't even care. That, obviously she's thinking about him possibly being in a vegetative state, but to her, it's just, it's their only hope. Because, Liz, she gonna do whatever she can to get her man, get her man back. So I can't fault her for that. You got to roll the dice on this one. Hopefully you don't, come up craps, but you better be rolling for 7s and 11s. I'm just saying. better blow on them dice. I'm just saying. Because you taking a hell of a risk on this one. So anyway, Jason, Curtis, Sam, Jordan, they're all, trying to put the pieces together about what happened with Drew and Andre. And they're trying to figure out who could have done it. Who could have set all this in motion. They were thinking Shiloh at first, but Jordan made up a very valid point. She was like, no, it couldn't have been Shiloh, because he don't have the resources. He ain't got no money to pull this off, and he ain't got no contacts to really pull it off like that either. So they scratch him off the list. But you can see Curtis was thinking long and hard. They was all thinking long and hard of who could have did this. And you know it ain't going to be long until they put the pieces together about Peter. I'm surprised they didn't do it in that minute. You know what I'm saying? Because my first thought would have went to Peter too. Not just because as a fan I'm watching it so we know Peter has something to do with it, but the simple fact that we know Peter has something to do with the memory mapping. You know what I mean? So you just got to think, who has a vested interest in this? You got to eliminate all suspects that were involved. Helena, Faison, they're dead, so it can't be them. You know what I'm saying? So who else does that leave that was originally involved in this? You got to think. But then Jordan gets a call. Basically, they found the wreckage. It was in the Gulf of Aden, the plane. They found the plane. Drew, they found no survivors. But, you know, Curtis was trying to reassure Sam. She was like, you know, Drew, he ain't going down like that. Drew definitely, you know, he felt like Drew wasn't going down. Navy SEAL, he knows Drew can handle himself. And he knows Drew ain't going down that easily. But they also found out that the pilots of that jet were not on the up and up. They were basically ghosts. You know, all they provided was a resume, a name. That's it. Other than that, they were ghosts. So they know something else is at play. But they figuring it out, though. I like the fact that they all working together. You know, I hate sometimes that they bring mobsters in on these cases, but whatever gets the job done at this point. I'm not too thrilled about it, but I do like seeing them, you know, solving a mystery at this point. I do like it because it adds more intrigue to the situation. So anyway, so I did like the scene with Monica and Franco. You know, she was there, you know, trying to get to know him better, and come to find out they like the same movie and stuff. You know, he was basically given, you know, came up with a deal or whatever that he'll tell her all about his, you know, 2012 Drew would tell her all about his orphanage days and him in the service and stuff like that. In exchange that she uses the Quartermain influence to get him out of his legal situation so he could potentially leave town. I like that scene, you know, because I really felt bad for Monica because she's been through so much over the years. She's lost so many people over the years. So I can understand why she wants to know about, you know, her son's. And the reason I call Drew her son, because I don't care what nobody say, yeah, that's her stepson or whatever. I don't see it that way. Obviously, Monica don't either. And I love that even though those are technically her stepkids, she views them as her kids. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Because you don't see that often. Usually, step-parents are assholes. You know, usually step-parents are real a-holes when it comes down to their spouse's kids. So I like that she's, you know, she embraces Alan's children. All except Sky. She wasn't ever really fond of Sky, but she embraces them. You know, those are her kids, not her stepkids. I like it. I love it. But she has gone through, you know, some pretty bad things. But I like that, you know, she was bonding with him and getting to know his past life and stuff. Until Jason showed up to give both of them some bad news about Drew. I could just see her face, like, even in the previews for tomorrow, her face was like, no, tell me I did not lose another child. That's how her face was. Like, I don't think Monica could just take it. I remember after AJ died, she was contemplating suicide when he died in 2014. Like, she was really thinking about killing herself. Like, Monica just been through it. She can't handle all this death around her. Like, it's crazy. Like, she outliving her husband. She outliving her kids. Like, it's crazy. I couldn't imagine. You know what I'm saying? Like, for a TV character, I'm like, damn, she done been through it. I mean, I seen some people, I heard of some people in real life that, you know, even my great-grandmother, like, she lost, you know, my great-grandmother had 11 kids. And I want to say maybe out of 11, maybe 4 of them died. 3 or 4 passed away before she did. Because she passed away in 2016, and she lost a couple of her kids out of 11. 11 kids. That's crazy. She even lost her sister. You know, my great aunt. Well, my great aunt. she lost her sister some years back before she passed away and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just crazy to lose all of them people, you know, that you not only gave birth to and brought into the world, but siblings that you grew up with and you predeceased most of them. You know, that's crazy. But, you know, at least they're all together now, which is a good thing. But yeah, it was a crazy episode today, though. I kind of liked it. Sonny, of course, got to throw his little weight around, throwing money around. Sonny, give me $20. I'm just saying. Loan me some money since you want to hand everybody envelopes with stacks. You know what I'm saying? Racks on racks on racks. I'm just saying. Help a brother out. But anyway, hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about today's episode. I will see y'all all later. Have a great day. Peace.